ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another interesting episode of our Kobo Podcast. My name, as usual, is Jam. And I got my co-troublemaker in the studio with me as always. My back man, as in he always got my back.
It's how you tag me as a troublemaker, I don't know.
We are always making trouble.
Well, that's fair.
Positive trouble, though. Victor.
Good to be here again. And another wonderful episode that we have today. Trust me, today's going to be an interesting one. You know why I said it's interesting, right? Maybe you should do the honor introducing our guest today.
We've got a VVIP. Maybe you can multiply the V times 100. I don't do a lot of mathematics in school. So we've got someone that is a CFR. Maybe we'll come to what that means later.
Right.
A GCON in the studio with us. The one and only Gbenga Adeyinka the fourth.
Nice to be here. And like I said, Ofi, I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you so
My
much.
TheCable.
Yes, it's your TheCable.
Your TheCable. So you own it right now.
Yes. So after my TheCable, I'll come and collect my urgent 2K from you guys.
Progressively. Thank you so very much, sir, for making our time.
Thank you
us.
for having me. I really appreciate it.
For the sake of the Gen Zs that don't know who Gbenga Adeyinka is, he is a comedian, a producer, a writer, an event host. What have I missed? The list goes.
I generally hustle to make money.
So, do you want to add politician to that list?
We'll get there.
Man is a political animal.
Let's not let the cat out of the bag immediately. Okay, so and we got him in the studio with us today to talk about comedy, live, everything really. So first things, I've always known you. Like I said, when I contacted you, I said I've been following you since I was like less than 10 years old. Those days when we were doing Shine Bobo. And I've always known you as Gbenga Adeyinka. But I want to believe that as a Nigerian and as a typical Yoruba man, there is a middle name or some other names. So what other names do you bear?
I bear quite a couple. My father's people call me Kayode. My baptismal name is Isaac. But let me introduce myself like a Yoruba man. My name is Oluwagbemi Gajota Jojo. Ota Ibayomi Oluwa Obani Oje. That is what my Gbenga is. But because of Jump, we had to just make it Olugbenga. I think those are my only names, unless you want to add baby and darling that my wife calls me.
Domestic names
and daddy and General Maga for the house. But apart from that,
at least I've learned that today. But we'll stick to Gbenga Adeyinka.
And I like to add the first.
The first, yes, of course, the first. I know that you speak a number of languages. In fact, one of the things that stood you out in the comedy industry is how you would take your introduction Wazobia. You do it Wazobia. How many languages do you speak?
I speak 2 languages with possible understanding of a few other. I have an ear for languages. Luckily for me, I grew up in Surulere. Surulere, when I was growing up, was called the New Lagos. In that it was middle class Lagos, so we had everybody who was anybody in that civil service middle class living there. To our right was a Yoruba lawyer. To his left was an Igbo family I was very close to, so I picked a lot of Igbo there. To our left, another Yoruba family. Then there was a Calabar family. There were Hausa people all around. So it was easy. In fact, I think after Igbo, Hausa was the easiest thing to catch. And in those days, nobody would tell you, no, don't go to their house. Oh, they will use it for jollof rice. So I come back from school, I'm in the house of the Memeka or the Memeka in my house, eating a bar and all that. So it was easy to pick up languages. But lack of practice robbed me of quite a few. But Myself stubborn.
With such a background, having to live with diverse kind of people, it's kind of give you, you kind of be open to accept people.
Yes.
I'm interested to know some of those fondest memories that you have.
Okay. When I was in Form 3, my uncle told me, and I want to explain why I love Nigeria so much, told me if I don't come between 1st and 10, it'll make me repeat the class because in my Form 1, Form 2, I was always between 1st and 3rd, but I'm not going to real football, stopped reading and all that. So first time I came 10th, it reminded me. Second time, I think I came 16th. Then he took me to school and told the principal that Gbenga and I have agreed. And my principal said, is it true? I was wondering, what do you want me to say? So that was when I knew it was serious. So I really studied and I came 10th, but he said it was too low. So it made me repeat. So I repeated that year and I came first. And to compensate me, he made me go on an excursion that changed my worldview. It was a trip organized by the Nigerian Railways. And that showed me the beauty of Nigerians. Because on that trip, we had different people, Hausas, Igbos, Yorubas, and all that. And we lived that one. And that was what growing up helped me do. I was telling someone when they started all this, these people must go, these people, we are not one. I said, where? It helped me see people first instead of tribes. Some of my best friends are not even Yorubas, It helped me understand the intricate spirits of the human being. Because if you are young, you don't have any fears about anybody. You just play innocently. And if you can grow up like that, then you'll be your mind.
I saw a picture where they said love is natural, it is hatred that is taught.
That is it. That is long and short. So that helps me accept people, helps me understand people. Funny enough, if I meet someone and I'm going to go a long way with the person, in the first 5-10 minutes, I know. It helps you study human beings, helps you understand that there's more to a person than where the person is from, what the person studied, what religion the person practices. It's not what you do, what you practice that defines you. It's who you are that defines you. And I think that kind of background helps me to really understand that.
Yeah, a follow questions. When we ask people in your generation, for instance, they kept to say similar things in regards to how they have been receptive to people. But then I want to ask, what changed? My generation seems to be different. What changed? At what point do you feel like we missed it?
I think, now I'll be sincere, we failed to pass on what was passed on to us. A lot of us became too busy to do what our parents did. Our parents were busy. For instance, I'm always embarrassed to say this. My children can't speak good Yoruba. In the name of, don't speak vernacular. Our parents, the worst thing that happened when I was growing up was, don't pick sweet on the street, don't collect money from strangers. That was the worst advice we ever got. But then we had values. You looked at your parents, and I'm not saying that our parents were not bad, but they made an effort to show us they were good. They would dump all of us in the car on Sundays and take us to church. When we're having parties at home, they will cook and share to neighbors. And that was one of those wonderful parts of childhood when you carry food. As you're dropping the food to the neighbor, they are turning it, and when you open the plate, there's money inside for you. Yeah. We failed our children. Every time I go online and I see ladies talk about private parts openly, I am
You are shocked.
I am shocked to my bone marrow. And I ask my children, come, don't these people have parents? Don't they? Somebody said, oh, is poverty. I said, no. Let's not blame poverty. A lot of Abiola's parents were very poor. I read in his book, I didn't know them, so that I don't start thinking I'm as old as that. I read in his book that to attend school, he used to sell firewood. He used to drive, he used to move around town playing music for him to be able to afford an education. But now parents ask their children, what are we going to eat today? We no go chop. No be your mates, they do this thing. You know? So for me, I just want to say we failed. The generation before ours was fairer to us than we are to this generation. And this generation is not even my problem now.
This is the next generation.
It's generation coming after them that scares me a lot. There's some things you want to say on social media that you're even afraid to say because they will drag you like Tiger Generation.
Yeah,
you know, it bothers me a lot. But I think the long and short of it is that we failed. We didn't hand over to them what our parents handed over to us. But then let me not say we, because that would be assuming that is all of us. I remember my daughter asked me once if I was her father, if I was a real father, because I made them. I tried my best to train them the way my parents trained me. It's hard sometimes, but then I remember telling my son, I don't know if he remembers that, see, I'm not your friend. I want you to hate me now. And when you grow up, you now appreciate all I did and say, oh, this guy is actually my guy. Than for me to be friends with you, pamper you, spoil you, and all that. Then later on in life, you now say, this guy is my worst enemy. He was the one that made me do this. So a lot of people, let me not speak about, quite a small percentage is doing those things. But it's a drop in the ocean.
Well, I like to think that there is a way, even though we are beginning to talk very emotional stuff, I like to think that there is a way that you can balance being a parent and being a friend. I like to think.
Yes, yeah, okay. You can be a father and a friend, but don't look for friendship first. Look for fatherhood first. You can learn to sacrifice. For instance, you can't both be their strong parents. Maybe the mother is their friend.
Yeah.
You sacrifice that. Or maybe you are their friend and you sacrifice their mother. But if you find yourself in a relationship where your wife is soft, you can't afford to be soft. If your wife is hard, you can't afford to be hard. So you balance it. I think when they grow up, they'll realize that this man or this woman is not really that bad though. He's just a form Van Damme. He's soft at heart. But that is what you need to do. But then don't take it too far because you might end up driving them away.
Yeah.
But set values. It's just, I can't even say those things those people say.
When the Bible says, train up a child in the way of the Lord, and when he grows, he shall not depart from it, right?
Sometimes it's not just Bible. Because that's what a lot of people have also used to abdicate their role. It's church, or mosque, or religion. No. There are some fundamental things that a father and mother must do. Wait. I don't want plates in the kitchen overnight. I don't want it. Your room is too dirty. Go and clean it. If a child is used to cleaning the room, when he or she gets married, their house won't be dirty. It's not a hard and fast rule. The Bible was right.
Yeah.
Train your child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. But then let's also not be too religious, because a lot of our young people become so immersed in that religion that once they leave, piam, they go overboard.
Yeah.
He's the way you smell as if you know the musician, but then that's not.
She knows. She knows.
Let's assume I know.
Before I go back to you, Jam Jam, is the part of this generation of mental health. So there's a way you treat them, and it's affecting them.
Any small thing, we are quick to say my mental health.
And maybe because the society has not been fair, everything seems to be different this time. Can you speak on
the
that?
way I view it?
Yeah.
I feel like it is. I don't think that. Well, maybe I might be right. I don't think that we are over emphasizing the state of mental health. I think our parents' generation may have under-emphasized it.
Or maybe
He's shaking his leg.
is it possible that maybe you were being maltreated in your days and you
I was being molested.
Yes, and you felt like it's normal.
And there was an abuse of my fundamental human right. I was emotionally tortured, or I could have reported to the police, or see. The Bible you mentioned, I like this translation in Yoruba. It says, "Aya ọmọdé ni èṣù dì sí, ẹgba no fi ń yọ kúrò." I'll try to translate that to English. It says that the devil is in the heart of the child, and his cane you used to remove it. I grew up with my grandmother, with my aunts, with my uncle. They beat me, and they beat me well. But with the benefit of hindsight, I was also a child that was destined to go bad. So if they had considered my mental health, considered not abusing me, maybe I would not have turned out the way I've turned out. But then, it's not all about caning. That shows that it's not all about caning. You can talk to a child.
Sure.
I remember there was a day my daughter did something. I was talking to her and I was crying. 2 years, I think it was this year. And we were joking in the house. And I was saying that, Diola, she's a liar. Our sister said, Diola would never lie. And I was proud. Do you understand? So, maybe the cry helped. So if you need to cry to make your children turn out right, cry. If you need to prostrate for them, prostrate. If you need to beat them,
beat responsibly.
For mental health.
Yes, thank you. We have compared the older generation in terms of psych and upbringing. Now let's talk comedy. If you look at
since you're comedy, let me do this way there. You know, I don't know if you watch this particular podcast. Do you think you're funny?
Do I think I'm funny? Okay, now let me confess to you. To me, I don't think I am. I just think I'm like the average Nigerian who can tell a joke. I believe that the average Nigerian is very funny. Can tell a joke, can make you laugh, which was what I've always wanted to do all my life. But I realized that when I talk, people laugh, you know. So I now went the extra mile to master the craft. But sometimes I tell a joke, I see people laughing, and I ask myself, Shekosio, you know? So deep down, I still question myself, but with what I've been able to achieve over the years, there must be an element of funny somewhere in my bone.
No, I like to think of being funny as a spectrum. It's not a yes or a no. So there is a zero, and then there's a long, and then there's funny. So it depends on whatever range you fall into. But as long as you're able to, of course, make people laugh.
Yeah. Because it's one thing to say you're funny. It's another thing for people to buy tickets and come watch you.
Yeah.
So at that point, when you Well, are you ever second guess yourself if you really, this is what you want to do?
Social media can be brutal. I remember Naira Land. When social media first started, the most caustic place was Naira Land. So I was heading for one event, and not being vain, I do practically more events than anybody in the business. Not being vain. My then manager, who were going, so I don't know which village person or devil told me, just read Naira Land small now. And I saw Gbenga Adeyinka is not funny at all. That one is just an idiot. And that thing just
got to you.
Got to me. I just sat down like that. My manager came in and said, "Oh, sir, let's go." I said, "Okay, so what's wrong with you?" I said, nothing. Let's go. He said, "What's wrong with you?" So I said, "I just read something on Naira Land and it just dampened my mood." And I'll show that. My manager said something to me that day that has kept me going. She said, "There's no weekend you are not working. There's no week we don't have 2-3 events. And because you allow what one person who could only buy data, maybe that's the last data on the person's phone,
You don't even know.
influence, mess with your mind. That that's why I'm very disappointed. This one, that one started lecturing me again on top of the salary I paid to her."
So I like that because you mentioned Naira Land. A lot of persons have mentioned Naira Land.
Hey!
With regards to that platform being.
But they still like that.
I will not say anything.
Yeah, but then let's even extend it to social media.
I don't
Right.
even because
Extend it to social media in this age and time.
generally
A lot of persons sometimes, even we as journalists,
Please,
right?
yeah.
I've seen. Let me give you a very good example. A colleague of mine wrote a story and went on social media to read comment, and someone said that he learned journalism on WhatsApp. Anytime I remember that, I laugh because he got to him. And was like, Victor, can you imagine this? Me that went to school and everything. Now, so I want you to compare that to this generation. Now, people have come for censorship on social media. What's your take on that?
See, if I say my take, they will drag me. One thing I've realized now is that a lot of people in the limelight don't come to tell the truth on social media. Because we have allowed ourselves to be coward. We have allowed ourselves to say what people want to hear. I don't do it. I don't do that. If I have a honest opinion about something, I write it. I know they will drag me. Okay, politically, I've always loved the president, the current president. I've always loved him. I've been working for him since he was governor
of Lagos,
the first time. I think 1999. That was when I started working for him. I developed a close relationship with him, with the family. If I was MC at Sheyi's graduation, at Sheyi's wedding, and all that. And I see capacity in the man. So when it was time for election, I just put on my page that then that was when it became so caustic that people were abusing their fathers, their mothers, swearing for children and all that. And I put up that, I want to make this announcement that in the coming election, I'll be supporting this man for president. This and this and this and this is why I want to support him. Please, if you're my follower, I apologize if it doesn't align with you. But if you want to unfollow me, you can unfollow me.
Wahala.
I can imagine.
But the painful part of it was bringing my children into it.
Yeah.
They cost me, cost my children, somebody now said, no, go and remove it. I said, remove what? Why? When did it become a crime for me to say what is on my mind? I wrote there too that, I know some people who want to support Atiku. Some people want to support Obi. It's your choice. And I will not come for you on it. Bros, they came from you. Hey. But one thing I did not do is that I did not bring it down.
You did not fold.
It will take the grace of God for me to say I no do again. So I put it up. They will abuse. But you know what I was doing? Okay, initially, when the abuse became too much, I was abusing them back. Somebody now called me from Canada and said, "Come, you don't have work, oh."
You don't have to soup down to
why are you answering them? Leave them now. So I left them. After a while, guess what? They left me alone.
Yeah.
But once in a while, when I put up something, somebody will still come and say, with your corn and agbado master, you are the ones, you have got to collect money from these people. You know? And I don't know when everything boiled down to money. If you support this candidate, is giving you money. And that is very insulting, very annoying. But one thing I've realized about social media, back to what we're saying, is that it's the same malaise we have in society that has extended to social media. KOK put up something some time ago, and people were abusing him. I'll check the status of some people. Those guys are not, I'm sure they'll be younger than his youngest child. When I was growing up, who born you to abuse person? But you just
walk away.
You walk away. And the kind of abuse, you be fool now, you be fool. You call your father's age mate a fool in front of the whole world. So, you see, censorship will not work. What will you do? You censor. Elon Musk, who just brought their grandfather, Donald Trump, back to X and interviewed him for a couple of hours. Is it the one that will censor? He won't censor it. Unless we now decide, like they do in Saudi, in Dubai, that you are not using this or you are not using that. But that is wrong.
It will also be an infringement on
a fundamental human right. I think what we need to do, I remember when the former vice president got elected and they called me to anchor his Senford dinner. Some friends called me. I told him that, sir, when you get into office, don't give me money. But there's something I want you to give me. He said, what? I said, I want you to start a ministry of reorientation. We need to go back to values. I saw a video on Instagram yesterday. The London Underground, where people are going up this way, people are coming down this way. And the person wrote, this is Japan. It's rush hour. People are rushing to catch the train. This part of coming down, there was not one single person on it. This part of going up, there were multitudes in a hurry to catch the train. Not one person thought,
let me cross.
Nobody here. Now make I just pass here quickly, join front. When you travel out, and it's
sorry to interrupt you. See how we are acting as if we can relate. You don't go London before.
Come on.
You don't go London. They shake hand. You're shaking your head.
You find out that Nigerians, when they go abroad,
we behave.
We are some of the most behaved. You want to do something, okay, there's a queue. You want to know where the next train is. The right thing to do is to go to the front of the queue and say, oh, sorry, I don't want what they want. I just want to know where they... I just want to ask a quick question. Person will look at you like that. So you were saying, initially I used to do that thing. At a point, I behaved myself and started using Google Map more. Or started asking people on the queue. But you see, we need to set our mind back to those days when I didn't see it all, but my parents said when they were growing up, this bottle of water, there was something Yoruba people call pelole lori. I'll just put maybe 3 sticks to show you how much it is. Yeah. So you pick it, you put my money there, you go with it. Nobody passing will pick your money. I don't think civilization gets to a point where what is wrong is right. So I think if government does a conscious effort, do you know anything called MAMSA? No. If you're a teacher, teach well. If you're a lawyer well. If you are a president well. If you police well, when they take right. You know, we need to go back to those days. If we don't, so now if we go back to those days, we won't need to monitor anything or clamp down on anything. I know that if I don't agree with you, I'll just go to my page and said, Gbenga Adeyinka posted this on his page. I disagree totally with him. And this is why, or you come to my page and say, I disagree with you. This man you said you have faith in did this, did that. How can you have faith in such a man? Not come to my page and say, you're a bastard, you have collected money. You know, we can marshal our points without being abusive, without being offensive. That is what we've lost in Nigeria. Even parents cannot control their children without abusing them. Stand up, ole. There must be, I don't know if Igbo parents do it or Hausa parents do it, but Yoruba parents, that's their okpolo. You know, there must be an addendum to what they want you to do. So I think we need to reorientate ourselves. Our problem is not social media alone. Some politicians are our problem. Some last mile officials are our problem. Some downfall drivers are our problem. Some bus drivers are our problem. Some journalists are our problem. Some comedians are our problem. But you see, it's beginning to look like, I'm sure in their days too, they had some few bad eggs. But now it's beginning to look like we have
there are more bad eggs
than the good eggs. And it puts us in trouble. Let me tell you one of the worst days of my life. I hate to praise Ghana. I went to anchor the Ghana Music Awards. And not blowing my trumpet, I'm the first Nigerian to do that. I don't know if others have done it. I did about 3-4 times. I went to anchor the Ghana Music Awards. And I was in the hotel. They called that, okay, a driver will be coming to pick you and all that. We had to start at 9 o'clock and all that. So by 8 o'clock, I called them and said, see, I'd like to be at my event 1 hour before. Can you send a driver to pick me? The driver came at about 8:30 and I got in the car, we're going, and he stopped at this traffic light. There was no car. There was nobody crossing. I'd never been so embarrassed like that. And I said, guy, we're in a hurry, go now. And he told us, I said, oh, Massa, as for you, you're a Nigerian. Oh, here in Ghana, we wait.
Hey.
I felt so embarrassed. And you know, every time I'm at a traffic light.
You remember that day?
I remember that thing and I just wait. I've been at traffic light where people will press on behind me and go, and I won't go. Not because there's a camera there, but because of what that guy said. I'm hoping that I can be a role model to some other people, you know. There are times that you are rushing for an event and you're supposed to pass by. I've had BRT officers, the first. Let me get in, take you through the BRT lane to the front. I know that once you know something is wrong, why do it? That is the problem we have in Nigeria. I want to pee now. I'll be checking where I feel come this thing where they no go see me.
That corral.
Well, you know, is is something that if we don't tackle, we'll just keep going and going. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint. I do some terrible things too. But if more people do it than the minority,
it will not become a norm.
You'll become a norm. See, there's something happening on social media. Although I don't support you using police to arrest people when they abuse you, but sue people. Sue them. If somebody says something wrong about you, don't arrest him. Get his, tell lawyer to write him, go to court. If you get 100 million claim against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, guy, you go watch what you write.
True. I just want to go back to comedy because there's a lot to unpack on that.
Comedy.
Yeah, because I want to also, we have the advent of skit makers, stand-up comedies, as if stand-up comedy is going on.
You guys mention skit makers as if they are not comedians. See, comedy has different genres. I remember when I was doing Laugh Matters on TV, we started skits. 3-minute skits that we'll put in between. We used to call it short and sharp. I didn't invent it. Then Jacob and Papa Lolo used to do it back in the days when I was doing A-levels in Ibadan. They used to have short comedy skits. We used to call them playlets and drama. In those days, they used to call it drama, but it was not drama, it was skits. Now, what happened is we are one society. Society. My prayer has always been for comedy to be so advanced that you would have comedy writers, you'd have stand-up comics, you'd have skit makers, you'd have movie comics, you'd have this, you have that, you have that. Skit makers are on the boom now because of the advent of social media and streaming and all that. Anybody, any stand-up comedian who beefs them is selfish. Because when stand-up comedy was the boomer, nobody beefed us. So every generation would have something that will be unique. But what that does is that by the time I'm dead and gone, my children will be proud enough to put comedian under my name. Do you understand? But if stand-up comedy is all there is to it, and after Babar dies, I die, Teju dies, that generation dies, and there's no more stand-up comedy, and they write comedy, they wonder, what is this one again? It's the joy of every practitioner. Or I believe it should be the joy of every practitioner, because it's my joy when I see different genres of the industry grow. Now, not every skit maker can be a stand-up comic. Not every comic can be an actor. We have to delineate lines. But unfortunately, what happens in Nigeria is, because I say that stand-up comedy is what is reigning, piam, I'm a stand-up comedian. Oh, now skits, they make money now. Piam, I go and start doing skits. Now podcast, they now, their papa. We say we go do podcast. You know? So is you understanding your role and being comfortable in your role. You can diversify if you have the talent, but if you don't, leave it for them. Look for what to do.
But then imagine when you're young and you may say you used to do stand-up, but now we're in the advent of skit making. You obviously don't want to retire.
Yeah, I've always done skits, like I said. Once in a while, when I have shows, I do those skits to promote my show. But I don't see myself as a skit maker.
To tie rapper,
paint me. It will take away from other things I'm looking at. I still do my stand-up. I still anchor events. Do you understand? I still have a few businesses I do. Now, because there's so much money there, running there is going to take away from those things I'm trying to do too. If I was younger, If I was just starting and I started out, or maybe I started out as a stand-up comedian, and I said that this kid no bad though. And I dey chop money, and I feel do this to them. Maybe I can go there. But for now, it go hard.
True. Before I go back to Jam Jam, I want to just ask this question. Like, can you just name like 3 skit makers that you feel like are actually doing well right now?
That I love.
That you love.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I love Sabinos. I love Sabinos so much. I love Sabinos so much. There's one guy I keep wondering why he hasn't blown that much. And 3 is a
short list.
It's a very short list. Very short list. I like Mr. Macaroni because of the energy he has put into the way those guys shoot skits is uncanny. One of my favorite too is Remote.
Okay.
Remote was discovered on Laugh Matters in Ibadan.
Wow.
Is one of my favorites. But Remote is a better stand-up comic than he is a skit maker. But people, luckily for him, people saw him first as a skit maker. If Remote does, there's one joke Remote does that if you get everybody cracking that, Yoruba, radio, and he's very good with sports commentary and all that. Who else? I love Kiki. Then this boy, I find this boy very intellectually stimulating. Lai Wasabi. I find him very, very mentally stimulating. He's on top of his game. Now, let me give you an example of what I was talking about. Let me name names. SLK is a very intellectual comedian. He's play on words and all that. He wanted to do skits, but it didn't work. Because COVID caught our attention span. COVID was not did not give us time to be looking for what is intelligent. They want to see girls shaking their, what do you call it, and doing and wear short skirt, and that's one part of skits I don't like. Then another part of skits I don't like is everybody dressing like women. Must you dress like women to be funny? Then I like Tahoma. I like Tahoma because because of the multiple characters
that
she plays. There are too many. Too many not to love. And there are too many you can't love.
Over to you, Jam Jam.
Thank you so much. Because we'll be comparing generations, I just want to...
My next show, for instance, is called Looking Back.
Okay, I just look back. And we're going to talk about that because, okay, that's something to look forward to. We're looking forward to looking back.
Don't leave me.
We are looking forward to looking back. How would you describe the evolution of comedy in the Nigerian instance from way back compared to now? Does it... because people have evolved, our parent generation is not same with ours, and even those that are just coming after us. Do you also evolve the kind of jokes that you tell? What makes people laugh then? Does it make people laugh now? How do you navigate that?
Okay, it depends on your... See, there's a book I read early that says, evolve or die. And it's natural. The cameras we're recording with are not the cameras they used to record with in those days. I remember those days, I would have cleaned my face like 14, 15 times because we used to use red headlights.
The heat.
The heat would have almost killed you. If it was in those days, they would have told us, okay, camera, lights, AC, let's put the AC off. But the AC is blasting as we're recording. So you must change. But you must change without losing your style. Because your fundamental followers love you because of your style. So what should change? The words you use must change. Because I can't imagine coming to a group of young people and saying, when I did inside Molue,
What's Bolue?
they'll ask you what's Molue. Although it can still work. You can tell them, and that's what I learned from working in Africa. Pidgin does not work because the pidgin we speak in Lagos, in Nigeria, is not the pidgin in Ghana, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone. So you explain first that, in Nigeria, we have what we call Danfo. Here is Trotro. That's in Ghana. You know.
Contextualize it.
You know, if you don't get money, you go chop pomo. Pomo, you don't know what pomo is. Pomo is a kiliwili. You know kiliwili now. You know. So you as you grow, as you're evolving, you are learning the new lingua franca, so to say. You are learning that in your days, people had the time for lengthy jokes. You have to look for a way to shorten that, because attention span has become smaller. You have to look for a way to be on social media. In our days, we were lucky. It was word of mouth. I don't think we are lucky. I think they are lucky. We had to be everywhere. We had to go to Jos. We had to go to Enugu to be known. And in the circuit, they'll be saying, there's one guy. That guy is mad. But now in social media, you know, there are a lot of things your dressing to needs to change. In those days, if I wear this under Agbada, they will start asking me, bros, I hope. You know, a lot has to change. And for you to evolve, you must do what they are doing. But don't lose your identity.
Your originality. Word.
Don't leave me.
People say that Nigerians are happy people. Do you agree?
I agree totally. Nigerians, see, if I sit down here and I allow you people talk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'll hear 7 jokes I've not heard before. Once the Nigerian can go out, it's okay. Has small money to flex, oppress his neighbor. See, if I live in Ikoyi, and I want to oppress those people at Oworo, AVI, that's where there's a bridge that links you. If I live in VI,
so that's intentional.
It's intentional. There's a long bridge that links you to the mainland. So the first thing I ask you is, I meet a beautiful girl. So what's up? Where do you stay? If she lives on the islands, I live on the island. If she lives on the mainland, our tone will be lower. I stay on the mainland. Say, mainland. We're on the mainland. This idiot lives in Ajao, where there's more traffic getting to that on the mainland. Yeah. But you see, the fact that he lives on the island, where is the farthest place on the island? Very close to Ekpe. You say, I live on the island, you know. So once a Nigerian can oppress the neighbor small, maybe in the compound, they all cook momo. One day, he comes home and cooks live chicken. Is the biggest man on the block. Do you understand? And he can go for Owambe, see free food to chop, pay, gradually be able to pay his children's school fees, be okay. Nigerians are okay. We don't like wahala. It's a Nigerian that will tell you when you are fighting for them that we'll die here, we'll die for this country. We are embarking on a 24-day strike. The government must hear. After 4 days, they'll tell you, guy, we no send you. May go outside, go find money where we go take chop. We're generally happy people. Our music, our comedy. That's why comedy blew in Nigeria first before the whole of Africa. Although the South African circuit is stronger than our circuit, but we are bigger in terms of size, in terms of content, in size of the number of top flyers we have. That's why it blew first here. And they would always respect us for that. Nigerians are happy. In fact, over happy they worry us.
Talking about happiness, you are in an industry that has to do with emotions. You make people happy, you make people laugh. What makes you happy?
If I can make my urgent 2K. Making urgent 2K. Every event, I make my urgent 2K. I do the things I love to do.
What things do you love to do?
I am a passionate, unrepentant Arsenal supporter.
You them there.
We full ground. Only we in a crowd. I love to watch football. I love to watch movies. I don't love money. I love what money can do, so I like to have it.
So that you can use it to do things.
I like business. I like to do this, do that, turn things around, do this, do that. So that takes a whole lot of my time. But I like family. I don't think anything beats family. And I think that is what has kept me going all my life. I love family. I love the fact that you give birth to a small child and you are the one in charge of molding, and the child now becomes bigger than you, and you can still oppress the guy.
That part, I just thought, but I can still.
So before we I think we are almost going downwards. I want to talk about something you mentioned, which is still on politics. Right? Very recently, my generation went on the streets to say that they are hungry, the end bad governance and everything. And then you said that you voted for this government, you supported this government. Now, you also complained about how people were attacking you, right? One would think that, okay, you have an audience, a mixed audience, so their pain is why they are trying to transfer back to you. So I want to ask, are you impressed with the policy of this particular government?
Now, let me get to one thing you said before I answer. Even before election, people are taking sides.
Yeah.
Am I happy with the policies of the government? I suffer too. People should not forget that I'm a Nigerian too. Now, am I happy with the policies of Asiwaju? Some yes, some no.
Okay.
The man explained something. He said, we have two options. We go the way we are going. I'll be attacked for this one, but I'll say my mind. We go the way we have always gone. We keep borrowing money. We keep using our oil, for instance, I'm told has been used to borrow money till so number of time. We can change that and have a better tomorrow. Or we continue the way and everybody is happy and your children suffer. Do I believe it should have ended, although it was not even the one that ended the fuel subsidy thing? I support fuel subsidy removal totally because of the amount of corruption that was in it. Do I think they've done a good job by tightening their belts when we need to tighten our belts? No. I believe that those cars that were bought for honorable members was an unnecessary oppression of the people, of the people who are suffering. What else have they done? I see a lot of restructuring taking place. Local governments are to get their money directly. If you have a vibrant local government, you can build the country from bottom up, which is the way they do it abroad. Will governors allow the money get to the local government? Some governors have said no, 9 or so. But if that money gets to them, we have more sensible people. I'm not saying those in local government are not sensible, but we have more people with ideas going to local government. We have university professors. Because see, if you get the local government right, it's like getting the family right. Society will be better.
Units, yeah.
Should people have gone on the streets to protest? There's a fundamental right of protests. Yes. Should they have said the Senate should be cancelled? The House of... no. Those are constitutional issues. that should be dealt with constitutionally. I think what should have been done is to ask for a constitutional review. You can't remove somebody you can't use illegality to
someone else legally elected.
Let's fight for. That's why when I see them Showore saying they want to be president, Fela Drotoye wants to be president, Peter Obi wants to be president. There's one very intelligent guy, Mogalu wants to be president. See, if I barb afro on a body that is dying, the afro will die. I think we need to get these young people into the House of Reps, into the Senate, to rewrite our laws. If Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria with the same structure we have in place, there's nothing he's going to do. If Buhari could fail, although, bros, no to no. Let me just say that. But if Buhari with his military background of Kai, why? That was why I campaigned for him. And I was stupidly thinking that in a democracy he could do all that. He said, lie, he can't. So, let's get this right. Let's push our best brains into politics. Stop allowing a few non-entities determine what we do. But we won't take it from the top. We take it from the grassroots. Next local government election, how many young people are vying to be local government chairman? That's where the society itself will feel you. Next election, how many young people? That's why I like Banky. Banky is a realist. Although the last election really hurt him. Because the guy they voted for in my area did not even believe he would win. They just did, that LOP 70. That was what helped the guy. But Banky stuck at it. I want more people. You, House of Assembly. You, House of Rep. You, Senate. You are all young.
I claim it.
When you get there, they will say they're not going to allow us enter. It's a lie. It's only an election that is close, that is riggable. Seyi Makinde is PDP. Ajimobi of Oyo was APC. APC has ruled that state since forever. Seyi Makinde's victory was so wide they could not
dispute it.
This man won in Lagos now. What's his name? Peter Obi won in Lagos. Abiola's election. Abiola won in Kano.
But then one will wonder that if you look at the likes of Peter Obi was a governor, Atiku was a vice president, and Asiwaju obviously was a governor. So what is that thing that struck out that make you feel like he's more competent than the others?
I'll tell you. Now, I'm not Asiwaju's mouthpiece, but what he did in Lagos, Office of the Public Defender was copied all around Nigeria. That's what gives indigent people who don't have money for lawyers free legal counsel. Your landlord is oppressing you, go to OPD. They'll give you a free lawyer. They do the case for you for free. Check, it's copied all over. The IGR of Lagos, before Asiwaju came, was something, so I don't know, I'm not supposed, but he took it up. It's the biggest in Nigeria now. Our infrastructure was that when Asiwaju became governor of Lagos, there were heaps, ask people who know, there were heaps of rubbish competing with cars on the streets. That's a thing of the past. Legal reform, justice reform, so many things. It introduced Loma, Drain Dock, LASMA. Our traffic, although we still have traffic, was unbearable. The things introduced. Asiwaju, give him another 2 years. That guy is a financial wizard. Give him another 2 years. People don't like to hear this. What is happening in Nigeria is not unique to us. It's universal. Check. Inflation in America, inflation in the UK. There were riots a couple of
recently
days ago in France, all over. But you see, have they done all. So that was what I looked at. And I made up my mind I was going to work for this man. Atiku was vice president. Tell me what Atiku did apart from BPE. BPE was when they sold all the assets of Nigeria. I don't want to be sued. But they sold a lot of it off and a lot of it had to be gotten back. His boss said something about him in a book he wrote. If your boss can say that about you and you didn't take your boss to court the year that book came out and you just left it, why should I now trust you? Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State. Asiwaju was governor of Lagos. If I'd seen both of them as governors and what they did and was at par, I would have said fantastic. But I would have preferred a Peter Obi in the Senate. I would have preferred Mogalu in the Senate. I would have preferred Fela Durotoye in the Senate. I would have preferred Sonny Shehu in the Senate. I would have preferred Showore in the Senate. If you have a Senate like that, no president will do things he's not supposed to do. But then now, let me also tell you something that makes me sad. These cars we said they bought for National Assembly members. How many parties are in the National Assembly? You have APC, PDP, Labour, maybe a few ACs and all that. Which of them said, no, I don't want this money. Put the money in the national coffers. I don't want this car. Put the money in a project in my state. None. Labour, AC, APC, PDP. So at the end of the day, we need to understand that these people play us when it's election time. We need more young people who are sensible, who are proactive, who love this country to stand up and not fight on the streets. Anybody, okay, let me divert a little. They were saying Yoruba Nation, Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now. I believe in the Yoruba Nation, but we won't go the way they want to go, the way of violence, the way of tying juju on your body and dancing on the street for you to see you have juju. So when we now get independence, it will now be juju half illiterates who will be ruling us. The right way to get independence has been shown in Czechoslovakia. There's Slovenia now, there's Czech Republic. Go to the United Nations. There's a process you follow for you. No, it's not even secession. It's to part ways. You do a memorandum, referendum.
Yeah.
They did it in Britain.
In Britain, yeah.
Brexit. But I don't know when we stopped being an intelligent people and we started believing in force.
So one will wonder that in the last election, before we go back to what Jam had, in the last election, we saw that the likes of Peter Obi seems to be very popular. Just like you mentioned, he won Lagos. So are you saying that a lot of Nigerians that voted for him perhaps don't even understand politics to be able to make choices?
Okay, he won Lagos, but are you sure you want me to talk?
Please go ahead.
Talk.
Because I said this and they abused me.
Talk.
He won Lagos, but he didn't win the election. Let me tell you, electioneering is mathematical. And is also sentimental. In the core north, did Peter Obi campaign there? When you are having an election, there are some people we call returning officers. Yeah. For you, Peter Obi didn't have them all over the federation. What do these people do? Like I said, election is mathematical. I have 1, 2, 3 of you in Ward A, 1, 2, 3 of you in Ward C, 1, 2, 3 of you in Ward B. 1, 2. So, as people finish voting, I know if you have won that election or if you have lost it. Oga, we've concluded in Ward A, we had 74 votes. We'll write it down. That's why they have election monitoring rooms.
Yeah.
From Lagos, we have 74 votes. From Lagos, we have 74 votes. Oh, so we've won. Now, you know get agents for polling units. How you go know? Polling units where you get agents, they won't rig you out. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, if you never reach something, no do am.
Now we are talking. Is it because it's about money now in the politics system for you to be able to afford that?
Nigerian. No, but it's not totally money. Okay. A lot of people who followed Peter Obi were not about money. Okay. A lot of people who followed Banky in Lekki. Yeah. See, I campaigned against Banky, but I loved his style. He brought in young people who didn't need money, who are not there for money, and they stood there and defended their votes. So it was, when people say money, yes, money plays a part. But if you start a movement, your people will even finance you. 100 naira here, 5,000 naira there. It's better than collecting 10 billion from one person, because you'll be loyal to that person. See, it's a matter of being ready. I'm sorry. A lot of the young people that contested and your guy were not ready. A presidential election is a journey of about 8 years for you to plan. 16 years sometimes. For instance, I can't be president of Nigeria again unless I want to follow the old system of one godfather says, Gbenga, we want you to be president. And they put massive structure and money behind me. But I believe that the Usher revolution, the revolution that will come will be a revolution of the mind through the system. Young people, this man, you're older than us. This lady,
I wish you could
this man will start from local government, build credibility. So they're saying that, have you been to Koshofe local government? That guy has turned that place to mini London. No? Then from there, he has done that for 4 years, Abi. From there, he wants to contest for governor. He contests for governor, he wins. Makes Lagos the real Lagos of our dreams. Makes it the America, the New York of Nigeria. That guy is ready. He has built followership from the
local government.
He goes to the Senate. From the Senate, he builds on the floor of the house. He's passing bills. Have you noticed that most of the people who contest for presidency in America contest as senators? But in Nigeria, you just wake up. There are some people who are professional politicians. So
that's the job.
That is their job. You now wake up and say, because you went to Harvard, you want to come and they will not even give you tickets. But if you have been entrenched as you are doing local government chairman, you are building your structure. Don't let anybody tell you structure is not important in politics. The people who call you, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Hillary Clinton, want to tell you we're counting on you to vote. That's your structure. The people who are going round with you, that's your structure. The people you have in each local government who are doing ward meetings, Koshofe for Obama, that's structure. Agege for Obama, that's structure. In Kano, Sabo for Obama, that's structure. It takes the grace of God. Let's live, yes, the grace of God. But in this, our current structure, it takes the grace of men for you to become president. And they will be expecting something from you in return. As what you said last time, that I don't owe anybody anything. That's why I can do the things I'm doing. If you throw a novice into that, you can swim, Abi. You swim in swimming pool. If boat capsizes, it's a different kind of swimming. Sure. So we're too emotional in Nigeria. I had no shoes. Oh, he had no shoes. Let's vote for him as president.
He'll buy us shoes.
When he was governor of our state, he was one carrying his box himself. was carrying his box. Nobody carried box for him. Oh, that means he's a good man. Let's vote for him. In Malaysia, they will abuse me. In Malaysia, you see, in Malaysia, 34.4 of it's not enough.
You're in trouble.
If you they will abuse me. If you want to do what is right, do it from bottom up. You don't construct a house from the ceiling.
Yeah, I think I get that. I know a lot of persons will also disagree with the fact that but I want to ask you. You sounded like more like a party man. Are you a party man?
In fact, before we even ask, okay, maybe you should say that because I know you have said that at a point you were not seeing some political ambition. Is that still in play?
I'm not a party man. I have friends in different parties.
Okay.
I am a registered card member of one party,
Okay.
but I support people across board.
Do you want to tell us the party?
Do I want to tell you the party?
Yeah.
I would yes. There's no, I'm a card carrying member of APC. Okay. I support APC today. I don't know what will happen tomorrow or day after or next year.
So are you looking forward to maybe in the nearest future an appointment or maybe contest in one?
I know you've said that you don't actually want appointments.
I don't want appointments.
Yeah.
So
see, the joy of of election is what I'm looking for. I don't have to win.
Of knowing that.
I want to. That's the beauty of any.
So what way are you looking at next 2027?
I don't know. I might even end up not doing it because I looked at it. Why don't I want an appointment? I do 2-3 events every week. It will disturb me.
But then we need good people in politics.
Are you sure I'm a good person? Are you sure I'm a good person?
Let's leave politics. If
The
not,
people with the sweetest mouth are sometimes the baddest people.
Okay, so go ahead, go.
Okay, so you have collaborated with a lot of big brands and beautiful people and big people. You probably have a checklist of people you still want to mingle with, roll with. Are there some persons like that you're still looking forward to doing things with?
To work with. I like to work with everybody. Maybe if a new brand comes to Nigeria that is very big, I'd like to work with them. I was telling somebody 2 weeks ago that I don't think there's any brand I've not worked with. I don't think so. Well, I've not worked with. I've done some things for a competing brand once or twice. There's really no brand I've not worked with. For instance, I've not worked for this president in the villa. I've not done that, and people would think
officially.
That even unofficially, I've not done any event in the villa since they came to government. People would think that I wake up and sleep in the villa. But if I'm passionate about you, I'm passionate about you. That's my problem, and I believe that. And please take this to the bank. If Asiwaju cannot set Nigeria right, then we're in trouble. With his capacity, with what he knows, with the fact that he has nothing to gain or lose anymore. If he cannot set Nigeria right, then we're in trouble. I'm scared for Nigeria. Because, let me just say that, who do I want to work with? Maybe I would want to work with some international acts. Not musicians now, because I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with Jaru, T-Pain, Kevin Little, R. Kelly, 50 Cent. Maybe some international comedians. I particularly love Chris Rock. I'm crazy about
Trevor, no?
You hit something. You hit a nerve.
Or you will not consider him as a comedian?
Trevor is amazing. It's funny, but I think there are Nigerians who can do what he's doing better. Basketball would do the Daily Show better. Bovi would do it better.
I know. Okay, because you have something similar.
Okay, will do it better. I'll do it better. See, opportunity is what a lot of Nigerians don't have. Look at this man at the African Development Bank, Femi Adeyinka. If he didn't have the opportunity to be there, you won't know that a Nigerian can do that. Then what we don't have in the comedy industry now is we don't have, I think this boy has it, Kenny Black. He has that. But a lot more people need to have that international connect of doing things the right way. I still see a lot of Nigerians traveling, a lot of Nigerian comedians traveling abroad to work on work permits. I think is the biggest insult you can do to your brand. On travel, on tourist visa. Is the biggest disservice you can do to your brand. Work permit is so easy to get. Anybody who wants you to come and perform for him should be able to invest in getting you a work permit. You know? But a lot of people go on tourist visa. They ask, what have you come here to do? Say, oh, I'm here on holidays. And you go and work. And they catch you and they ban you for 10 years. You know? There are a lot of entertainers who can enter the States and the UK. They won't tell you.
Because of this thing.
Because of this thing. We need to do things properly. If I was younger, I would have gotten an international manager who would do things properly for you. When I was going to have my show in April in the UK, I made sure that everybody who came had a work permit. Is a no-brainer. I made sure that we paid all the taxes we were supposed to pay because I'm an ambassador for Nigeria. What I hate the most is Oyebo talking to me anyhow because I've not done things that should be done the right way. If we are counting comedians, is people like their fathers that they should be rating me with Cedric the Entertainer, with Bill, not Bill Cosby, because Cosby is a step higher, with Eddie Murphy, you know. So at this age and time, I'll now go there and go and start saying, I'm coming for holiday. And the anointing is that these guys see that you're not coming for holiday. Because people bringing you are promoting already. They just need to go online, put your name, and they see what you are there for. And we go and fool ourselves. So that's one thing that is missing in the comedy industry. I don't know about music, but we need to do things properly.
Yes, sir. Still talking about you. This is you've also mentioned that
you never tire.
Quickly, I came ready. I came prepared. You also mentioned that you're working on a book, if I'm not mistaken. Is that still something you're working on?
My book is actually ready. I've just been lazy.
Give us a teaser.
Is about me, where I'm coming from, where I'm at now. I think I even need to update it because it was ready pre-election. And I couldn't do for book launch that period. So now what's holding me is the way the country is. The people that would like to come will not come because there are still a lot of challenges in the country. So maybe we'll update it, and the book is ready. It's called The Musing of a Confused Comedian. Maybe I'll change the name.
But for now, that
is what it is.
So I think it's a good place to draw the curtains will be you telling us about your coming project. Yeah, like you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
What do you expect and when should we expect it?
In the last 14 years, and this actually put me in trouble because people thought I lived outside Lagos. I started a project called Laugh Matters, the Unity Tour. And we started in Ibadan 14 years ago. And we did Ibadan, Abeokuta, Ilorin, Oshogbo, Akure. We do 6 cities every year. So we'll tour those cities and end up in Abeokuta on October 1st. But 2 years ago, we started doing Lagos. We started Lagos again. And we did that 2 years ago. This year we've done, because we had to travel out, we left Matthias for the very first time. We did only Ibadan. We did London. October 1st, we're going to Abeokuta with Laugh Matthias, Gbenga Adeyinka and friends. Looking back, November will be in Lagos, and that will be it for the year. Next year, hopefully, or I'm still talking to an agent who wants us to do Canada this year, and I said, well, who am I? I'm a pencil in the hands of the creator. If there's money on ground, we go and do it.
Yes.
You know, that's it. And of course, I do quite a lot of private gigs, private events, and I don't pray to stop.
I know I said that's the last question, but this one that you said down, between MCing and doing comedy, which one comes more easily for you?
I like MCing because I can do comedy and MC. You know, you can merge both.
So guys, there you have it. Gbenga Adeyinka the first.
Well, let me greet them quickly before I go. Salunko Jama, Sunana, Gbenga Adeyinka, Serikin Dayani. If you don't speak Hausa, Indero, Afambo, Gbenga Adeyinka one, the Ofemanu one of Lagos. If you don't speak Igbo or Bokia, Elimahi, Gbenga Adeyinka. If you're Rubuado, or Deme, Gbenga Adeyinka. If you're Yoruba, Epeleo, Oluwagbemi Gajotalo, Tabayomi, or Madeyinka Leminje. If you speak French, bonjour, bonsoir, bonne nuit. Je m'appelle Gbenga Adeyinka.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been an interesting session sitting in the studio here with the CFR, GCON, talking about comedy, entertainment, politics, parenting, society.
Politics.
I should have called that 3 times.
I will be caned.
All right, guys, until we come your way again for another interesting episode, please make sure to subscribe, like, drop that comment. It's at TheCable Podcast, and I'll see you next time. Bye.